Welcome to SAT TV's news. I am Shana Esprit, your presenter. Among the major developments, Dominica to benefit from US $3 billion Chinese loan, China to fund new children's hospital in Trinidad, deadly fire in China poultry plant, and in sports, Merino Blasters secure major win in cricket. Details of this will follow. Welcome back. Edward Lambert, special advisor to the Prime Minister, said that the government has crafted particular policies to safeguard the elderly. Mr. Lambert, who spoke on behalf of the Prime Minister at the 18th Annual General Meeting of the Dominica Council of Aging on May 30th, had this to say in his presentation.
Government's response to these realities, which can adversely affect the elderly, has been to craft a social protection policy that seeks to support the poor and the vulnerable and to buffer retirees from economic and financial pressure. Government has thus increased welfare payments, removed taxes on pensions, introduced the Yes We Care program, agreed to more regular increases in benefits under the Social Security scheme, commensurate with the rate of inflation, introduced the option for those reaching the retirement age of 60 to be re-employed up to age 65.
The elderly are now the beneficiaries of direct administrative support from the government, in addition to an annual subvention.
Currently, government is giving attention to resolving the matter faced by returnees and retirees from the United Kingdom. I don't know if there are any here this morning. This group of our citizens find themselves disadvantaged in that they are denied the benefit of increases in their pensions since they are no longer resident in the United Kingdom. This matter is being addressed by examining agreements of the United Kingdom with Barbados and Jamaica, whose retirees are not denied these benefits.
He also called on the Dominica Council of Aging, Inc. to develop a database in order to keep records of the skills and knowledge of its members, making it available to all agencies, including government.
There is one other area of advocacy of an entity such as the Council of Aging. I refer to those undocumented Dominicans in places such as the United States and in some of our Caribbean countries, who because of their status are forced to operate below the radar screens of the social security schemes in these countries. We are beginning to see some of them, retired or otherwise unable to work, returning home and making requests on the social security scheme to which they have not contributed.
The advisor urged the council to work with the government to devise mechanisms to empower persons to benefit from the Dominica Social Security Scheme. Mr. Lambert reminded the council to keep within their motto, care, cooperation, commitment, calling on those deprived to become contributors of the organization in some way.
The demographics of Dominica, ladies and gentlemen, clearly indicate that we have an aging population and less young persons now contributing to the social security scheme. And this should be of concern to you. The task really faced by government to combat this situation is to continue with the intention and the many projects intended to bring about economic growth in this country.
This year's AGM was held under the theme, Aging, a Fountain of National Human Resource Capacity. In more news, In an interview, the Prime Minister, Honorable Roseville Skerritt, has stated that Honorable Julius Timothy is doing very well.
He's fully energized. As you know, the only impediment now is in respect to some words. He can speak, he can communicate by text messaging, he can communicate by email, he can speak on the phone, he can hear you, he knows people, he knows voices, he knows everything. It's just a situation with his voice, and he's been seeking professional help to have that restored and so.
Mr. Timothy has returned back to Dominica, according to the Prime Minister. When asked if the Prime Minister for Health will be contesting the upcoming general elections, Mr. Skerritt had this to say.
At this stage, my preoccupation about Mr. Timothy is health. Elections and whether he'll run is a matter for another time. And it has not crossed my mind. Mr. Timothy is the Minister for Health. Mr. Timothy is the Member of Parliament for the Roseville constituency. But my preoccupation is on my colleagues' improvement of it.
Mr. Timothy was airlifted to Martinique a few weeks ago after suffering from a stroke. In more stories, Earl Grant, who was charged with conspiracy to commit arson in relation to the December 25, 2010 firebombing of former magistrates Glenworth Emmanuel's home, has found himself in a quandary. A local journalist, Mr. Carly John Baptist, has reported that Earl Grant, who was granted bail on Friday, May 31st, threatened him.
On Friday, I was outside the court after getting news that he would be bailed during the afternoon about 2:30. So I had gone around the area. I was there with a number of other press personnel, and we were there, and he was coming in handcuffs with about 5 police officers. And we were trying to get his picture because that is the norm. We're trying to get his picture. So as he was climbing up the steps of court number 3, he pointed to me and he said to me, "Can I'll break your neck?" So he entered, and then I said to myself, "What is going on? What have I done to the man?"
Mr. John Baptist claimed after the proceedings at the court, he spoke with Mr. Grant's lawyer, Mrs. Zina Dyer, informing her of the incident. She said she would speak to her client in reference to his claims. He added Mrs. Dyer requested that he remain silent on the matter, and he agreed. However, after discussions with other individuals, he was advised to take this matter seriously and to file a formal report to the police. This was done about an hour after the incident at the Roseville police station.
And I was told that they would also refer the matter to the St. Joseph police station. So I would think that they would have met him. I don't know, but I've been hearing a few things that he's claiming that I spoke with him, I made some comments to him. I could not have made any comments to you. First of all, that is the first time I was getting a close-up to the man. I don't know the person. I did not know the person. So I could not have made any comments to him. He is in police custody. What can I possibly say to him in police custody? All I was trying to do, like all the other journalists there, to take a picture, get a picture of him. That is all I was trying to do. But there was no way I was going to have any discussions with him. He's not my friend. The man is in police custody.
The journalist noted that the police officer at the Roseville police station called the St. Joseph police station when he made the reports. They informed them of the incident, and the officers there were directed to make contact with Mr. Grant to notify him of the report filed against him. He added he does not see this incident as one that would require legal action. However, he wants Mr. Grant to receive a stern warning to be very careful on the statements he makes and to desist from making any further threats to him. Quoted from Mr. John Baptist, "Those things have far-reaching implications. As if God forbid something happens to me, he will be the one responsible, as he said he is going to break my neck."
I am intimidated. Not me. Not me. Like I said, I was not going to do anything. But after discussing it with people, they thought that I should make a formal report to the police. But I am not intimidated by Mr. Skerritt. Not at all. Not by him.
In other stories, the Commonwealth of Dominica is among 8 Caribbean community countries to benefit from US $3 billion concessionary loans from the government of China. This was made public when China's President Xi Jinping met with regional leaders following a 3-day visit to Trinidad and Tobago. The loans would be used for infrastructure and development projects in the member state countries. President Xi Jinping, who met with the Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roseville Skerritt, says there is a good relationship between Dominica and China working closely together. Prime Minister Skerritt stated this loan from China is very good news for the Caribbean people and the governments of the Caribbean.
The fact remains there are not many friends out there who are coming forward and making such offers and gestures to us in the Caribbean. So I believe it's a very constructive engagement. It signals to us in the Caribbean that China has been taking us seriously, that they have responded to the long-standing solidarity which we have expressed to them over an extended period of time, particularly with regards to the One China policy and also the peaceful reunification of the whole of China. So, all in all, I believe that it is a very, very constructive and beneficial visit to the Caribbean by President Xi, and we look forward to further strengthening and deepening the relationship between China and the Caribbean.
China has shown they are not all about talk and are manifesting seriousness in a practical way.
The Bible says a man shall not live by bread alone, and I dare say a country can't live by rhetoric alone. One has to demonstrate some practical sense. And I don't believe that it is a case of playing one against the other. We in the region have friends. They're friends who reciprocate that level of solidarity in a practical and tangible way, and China is doing that. So it's all about whether Vice President Biden was there last week, and the Chinese president will be there this week, and who is going to come next week. We are friends of all. It's just that there are some who reciprocate and who offer various levels of assistance to us. And the fact remains China is indeed a beacon in respect to that aspect of it.
President Xi Jinping urged the two countries to continue to transfer technologies and share experiences in areas including agriculture and medical services, and to also cooperate in the fields of economy and technology. He also said Dominica and China should cooperate in exploring clean energy, jointly cope with climate change, expand people-to-people exchanges, and to strengthen cooperation in personnel training. According to the Chinese president, China has always regarded its relationship with the Caribbean from a strategic perspective and is committed to the building of a comprehensive and cooperative partnership. Mrs. Skerritt thanked China for its assistance and expressed a willingness to enhance cooperation with China in such fields as transport, infrastructure, education, and medical services. In other news, Lincoln Robin, 26, popularly known as Super, died on Friday, 31st of May, conferring to reports in Guadeloupe. According to an initial report, the death may have occurred due to a domestic dispute. Firefighters were called to intervene in a dispute in Mont-la-Crosse Abymis, where the body of Mr. Robin was discovered with stab wounds to his chest inflicted by a screwdriver. He was treated at the University Hospital of Pointe-à-Pitre, where he succumbed to his injuries that caused severe damage to his heart. Super was a Dominican originally from the village of Petite Soufrière. He was well known in the music industry as a bouillon and a dancehall artist. He performed in Dominica numerous times. His last performance was during this year's carnival celebrations with the WCK band. 39-year-old Earl Seco Grant of St. Joseph says he is happy to be free after being granted bail in the sum of $20,000 on Friday, May 31st, 2013. Mr. Grant is one of the two men implicated in the December 25, 2010 firebombing of the home of former magistrate Glenworth Emmanuel. He was denied bail on Thursday, May 30th by Roseville Magistrate Evelina Baptiste after being charged with conspiring with Mr. Denny Shillingford to unlawfully and maliciously set fire to the home of Glenworth Emmanuel, with Glenworth and Greta Emmanuel therein. However, High Court Judge Bernie Stevenson Brooks on Friday, May 31st, ordered the Magistrates Court to allow Mr. Grant bail.
It was a crazy experience. I never experienced something like that. But it come with all that because all the media talk and all the hype about it, so I could live with it. I go through it like a man. It didn't break me, didn't anything to me. It didn't dent my confidence or anything to me, Curtis. I think that made me stronger. They just fuel my fire, that's it. Boy, I want to say first thanks to the Almighty. Honestly, my mother, the best mother in the world. My sister come all the way from London. Everybody, all the supporters out there, honestly, if everybody was backing me, Curtis, I had to back myself. Everybody was giving me 100% support, My friend, everybody. Everybody in New York, just tremendous support. It wasn't for them, it wouldn't happen.
Mr. Grant noted now he will await his date in court and take things one day at a time, as he knows he will emerge victorious when it is all over. He claims he is innocent, hence his return back to Dominica. I could have stayed in the United States and sit there and no one could touch me, he said.
I have nothing to say to Mr. Emmanuel. All right, I wasn't involved in anything to do with his house. That's it. I know nothing about what happened to his house or whatever to Mr. Emmanuel. I want to thank everybody from St. Joseph, my village. Everybody was support was just tremendous. And everybody that prayed for me and look, I'm out on the street today, so I want to thank them again. My mother, Barry, Louis, that man was there for 2 years with me. My sister, all the way from London. My teacher, Sinufi, everybody.
And in other news, following the implication of an article by the Le Monde newspaper regarding a blacklist of 17 tax havens, the Embassy of France in Castries would like to specify the following. The list mentioned by the newspaper does not reflect the position of France. It concerns a technical list which was established by the services of the French Agency for Development and not of the national list of the states and non-cooperative territories where the Commonwealth of Dominica does not appear. This technical provision does not affect the capacity of intervention of the French Agency for Development in the countries where it is present, of which the Commonwealth of Dominica is included. France appreciates the efforts made by the Commonwealth of Dominica with regards to financial transparency and encourages it to continue in this manner.
This is Colton T and you're watching SAT TV. Stay tuned. Cause SAT is everything in more I want. SAT, you're all I really need. I'm say, oh my, yeah. I'm Mr. Sat your flows that I love, and I never felt this way before. But sad with every king, yeah, and I felt a peace, yes. I'm Mr. Gallus is my breed, but I'm a sat. It's your loving that I need, and surprising, you're that special lady. I said the carrots to my peace. Sat is everything in more I want, yeah.